And so it's dusk, twilight, magic hour. Okay, as the sun sets over South Essex, the time is now 10 to 5. There's ours tree. Who's in ours tree, little one? Who's in ours tree? Is that squirrel again? Is it that squirrel? That's a tusk. Is it that squirrel? Now we've all seen my Arcala mask, haven't we? But how about this one? Look at that. A genuine Ukrainian issue gas mask. It's not fun to wear, and it's not much fun in general. But it happens to be on the side in my kitchen. Now is the time of the day where I won't switch any lights on. Your brain starts to think, oh, it's dark. So you stomp around, you put all the lights. I bet the front room's got lights on. Guilty as charged. Look at that. What? Well, that's because I've got the curtains closed in here. And have had for a little while because I had a lovely afternoon, Sunday afternoon bath. So you have to make sure before you get out of the bath, don't you, that all curtains closed. So you can then sashay and swish around the house in your dressing gown and less. Sometimes, if I had my way, you know, my gaff, my rules. So I had a little wander around in the raw with the curtains closed. And now I'm feeling super childosaurus. And as I say, every other room, it's just normal natural light now. I won't put any more lights on until it's pitch dark or until I have to. And that way your eyes are tuned to the levels, the daylight levels from inside and outside. And it helps your biological clock, helps your metabolism to metabolize and synchronize. You know? That makes sense, doesn't it? So welcome to my Zen space. Welcome to it must be called the shrine, in which we have Funky Buddha and Uncle Homer. Oh, well, wouldn't that be amazing to have Homer as an uncle? Oh, wow, yes, please. And then, of course, last but by no means least, just to prove I've had a bath, look, there you go, Nicky Nana. You can now water the plants with your old bath water. This is where the house of tomorrow begins, you know. Sorry, the light levels are really low. But as I say, I won't put any more lights on anymore until this evening. And, you know, as the light levels fall, as the light levels dim, you can listen to the birds singing goodbye to the day. And that's about all. I'm not sure I ever like to play music this time of the day because it's a natural stopping point. It's a natural winding down point of the day, isn't it? Dusk, the twilight and magic hour. That would be the ice cream man. So you know you're in the twilight zone when you can hear the ice cream man on the horizon. Picture a man holding a picture of a man picturing a man. Holding a picture of a man with a picture of a man. Picture that man holding a picture of a man. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. You see what I mean? If I don't force it, if I don't make myself speak, it's lovely and quiet. I'm sure all my friends and relatives know that is rule number one with me. If he's not speaking, you'll find it to be lovely and quiet. I have made a humongous lemon tea for the end of the day, for the close of the day. And so I'll say now, I'll give you a toast to Sunday, to Saturday that made it, and the Monday that'll destroy its memory forever. To Sunday's waste of a day. What a day to waste, eh? Day of rest. My foot. Mind you, I've had a bath and a kip. So, yeah, call me a hypocrite. Colour me hypocritical. Taking the rise and mocking the Sabbath whilst being as relaxed and restful as I get during the week. I tend to work 6 days out of 7 on my feet, on my patrol, doing my duty, as is the want of a venture sergeant, a retired venture sergeant major, any combination of these ranks that you'd care to choose. An official, unofficial, on the clock, off the clock, venture sergeant, with his beard almost bedding back in, which used to be one of the caveats of being a venture sergeant. They were the only rank in the British Army up till recently who could grow beards, who were allowed to grow beards. Nobody else in the army was allowed to grow a beard up till recently. I think that was a good policy, to be honest. I think we should go back that way, because the venture sergeant should be the only officer who's entitled to grow a beard. And a venture sergeant is this. Now, if you brave it, check it out. It's a wonderful rank, distinguished rank, and a well-held and honoured rank in His Majesty's Armed Forces, is the rank of venture sergeant. And what a venture sergeant is and what a venture sergeant does is this. Not only is he a sergeant, bit of a, they can be hard-nosed bastards, drill sergeant major, thing like that, will drill you until you puke, and then they will drill you until you puke again, and then they will drill you again and again and again. A drill sergeant major, but you can be a lance corporal, you can be like venture sergeant. The basic rank that you can occupy is venture sergeant. And what it means is you have all the roles of a sergeant, but the venture part means that even when you're off the clock, you're still on the clock. If you get me? If you're a venture sergeant, therefore that means you are never off the books. You are never off the clock. Whether you're awake or asleep, a venture sergeant is on call because, of course, for why? Because of the Cub Scout motto, because of Baden-Powell's excellent message, because of Rudyard Kipling's superb teachings. A venture sergeant is always on call because he lives by the line of be prepared. Because, of course, a venture sergeant is, in essence, a grown-up Sea Scout. A grown-up cub. But then you see a cub is a grown-up beaver, and a beaver is a growing-up squirrel, and a guide is a growing-up brownie, and a brownie is a growing-up beaver, and a growing-up beaver is a squirrel. So we're all of us growing up. Only cool thing is, you can actually occupy a position in the British Army and get paid for being a great big last Boy Scout. And I saw the rank, and I loved the rank, and I held the rank. Only trouble is, because it's venture, I no longer hold the rank, except I'm always on the clock. Do you see? Do you follow me? If you follow me, I'll have you shot. Well, I'm only joking. JK. You know, like, oh, I'll kill him. He's hilarious. I'll kill him. Spill the beans on the National Security Services and that. I never would. The information contained within this brain will remain within this brain despite accusations that it's insane. So, ladies, gentlemen, to the king. Long live the king. And so say all of us, Your Majesty. Venture Sergeant. Yes, and I like to think Venture Sergeant Major Mark Stephen Wibley. So, yeah. Officer on deck. You're mashing it up a bit now because, of course, the sailors don't do much drilling. I drilled my father, who's ex-Royal Navy. It turns out sailors really are on the wag at least 6 days out of 7. And even when Thursday's War came along, that was just a big game of paintball without the paintballs. Whereas your squaddies, your boots on the ground, are drilled to within an inch of their sanity, I think, some of these lads and lasses. So I like to think that the Venture Sergeant Major that I could have been would have been able to take that Drill Sergeant Major attitude from the parade grounds of Horse Guards onto the 7 Seas and get those lollygagging sailors doing some drilling on deck. You know, those aircraft carriers of ours are perfect for performance. If we were to get all of our Wrens and all of our sailors out on the deck of an aircraft carrier and have them all do some drilling, do some seriously major drilling, bang, that's a shot. I think His Majesty's Royal Navy could drill it out of the American Navy, say for example, or the Japanese Navy, say for example. You don't see the Japanese Navy drilling out on the deck of their aircraft carriers, do you? You don't see the American Navy out drilling out on the decks of their aircraft carriers. Why don't we do it? Get those lollygagging sailors, pull their socks up under their bell bottoms, and do an honest day's work like the squad, like the boots on the ground do when they're deployed. When you're deployed, you're deployed. You're on a boat, you can float away anytime you like. Come on, guys, pull those socks up. I'm coming to drill you soon. All you sailor boys. I'm going to love that, aren't they? Yes. Here comes Lance, Sergeant Corporal Lance. Wedding Adventure Sergeant. Behave. Honestly. No, seriously. And as for the beefeaters at the Tower of London, guys, you're over the hill and you're out of shape. I'm sorry to say it. You are the King's personal guard and you need either retraining or you need retiring. That's IMHO. That means in my humble opinion. Okay, IMHO. Guys, I've been to the Tower recently. I love the Tower. I love the work you do there. But there's something lacking. And that is a bit of fresh meat. It's a bit of young blood. A lot more female yeomen. We need a lot more female beefeaters. And somebody say, like a Venture Sergeant, to come along and give you all some retraining. To use that halberd to deadly effect. For example, the halberd, when swung backhanded to the left, around one's shoulder, swung around 180 degrees, the blade of the halberd can be used at speed with patent force to simply nick an inch out of the base of a skull at the top of a spine and instantly turn an enemy into a vegetable. With one halberd swift stroke. It doesn't have to be used to take off heads, but it can be used to shut enemies down, guys. And that'll do, I think, for an OHMSS. I'm OHMSS. I know I am, I'm sure I am, I'm OHMSS. And if they caught us napping, then we were not at our best. I know I am, I'm sure I am, I'm OHMSS. Rule Britannia.